Are you having property management issues regarding maintenance? Well, I just wanted to share something with you that hopefully will help you. So we've had a property manager in place for a while, and this story was from a little bit ago. But basically, if you're working with a property manager and you're just starting out with that relationship, hopefully you've done some due diligence on them and everything's good and fine. But I would still encourage you to maybe just kind of get quotes alongside them for the first couple of things, just because their interests aren't exactly in line with yours in that respect. What I mean by that is they're going to be making a percentage off of your gross rents. So they're making money there. They want to get you the most rent as possible. That makes sense. But in terms of your expenses, there's no dealings with them there. So if they're working with a contractor or other vendor, and they might get a kickback for some of the work that they're doing, that's good for them, not so good for you. So I'll give you an example. One of the things that happened is we needed to replace a fairly large glass pane. It wasn't small, but we had them get a quote because that's their job. Property managers, right? They're supposed to manage property, get quotes from things, collect rent. So we asked them to get the quote. They reached out to some glass company and we got a $4,000 quote. And again, I am not in the contractor space. I am not super versed in what the cost should be versus what they shouldn't be. But obviously, like my hunch was like, that just seems outrageously high for a simple pane of glass. And so I do my own diligence. I call the next day to another glass company. I explain the dimension, where it's at, what's needed. And he went out and looked at it and he gave me a quote of about $1,000, which is a quarter of what the property management company was saying that their vendor was going to use. So obviously I chose to go with that vendor, but it's just an example to show you like, you should probably do some quotes alongside your property manager for the first couple of times, just to make sure that everything's all good and they're truly getting you the correct quote for things or the correct vendor, because it might not always be the case. And like I said, their interest is to get you the highest rent, not necessarily the lowest expenses. So if there's a way you can kind of fix that with the agreement, or if you can kind of ensure that your expenses stay low, if you do a little bit of legwork in the beginning to make sure that you're all on the same page, possibly the best way to go. But I just wanted to share that with you in case it could help anyone else, just to make sure that they're not running into the same issues of just having the property manager give them one quote and then walking away instead of trying to get multiple quotes, or maybe trying to actually find someone who's going to do the job perfectly or the best. And anyway, just hope that'll help everybody.